it's all the sentences that creep up in my coffin. I don't wanna do no talking. Can't you see the reaper, he go crazy, he go down. I'm gonna let my chopper drown.
Now, how to install OpenBSD 7.0 in GPT partition scheme. First, at the installation prompt, I to install, enter keyboard layout, select your favorite one, system hostname, network interface. We won't configure it now because we need to install the non-free firmware. Domain name, leave it the same. Name server, configure later. Password for your root account. Start SSID, yes. Then ODM, no. Set up a user. Full name of the user. Password. Again the password. Root SSH login, yes. The hard disk. The root disk is SD0 because it is where we want to install OpenBSD to. Use hold disk GPT, the option G, select auto layout, done. Location of the set disk, because I am installing from a USB stick already mounted, no. Which disk contains the installation media, SD2, because it is the name of my USB. A, yes, it is right, it has picked up the USB stick. Now done. Configure, continue, yes. And now it is installing the OpenBSD main system. Now done, and reboot to OpenBSD. You will need to create a second USB in FAT32 file system where you will put your device drivers, because I don't have Ethernet and I absolutely need those drivers to make my Wi-Fi card working. Here it asks you the time zone. Write the time zone. Multiprocessor kernel, because I have 4 cores instead of 1. It will update the kernel, and later I will reboot into the basic system. Now we need to set up a FAT32 USB stick with all the firmware devices. You can download them at the website firmware.openbsd.org/firmware. Download the latest version for OpenBSD version 7. It is very important to also include SHA-256.sig because it is a special key that will enable the system to recognize the drivers as signed, and also index.txt and all the devices that you will need. For example, I need EWM firmware for my Intel card 9560 Wi-Fi card. Copy all the firmware to a blank USB stick. Later we will boot in USB stick, mount the USB in our at MNT location, and we will perform a firmware upgrade from the USB. Now the OpenBSD will boot from the hard disk where we installed it. These messages are all the devices that have been recognized. EWM0 error in loading firmware because it doesn't have the firmware. Login as root. sysctl.hw.devices. It was hw.disknames. Now it shows us SD0 where we have OpenBSD and SD1 where I have Windows 11. Yes, it is possible to dual boot with OpenBSD. First, install Windows on a hard disk. Second, install OpenBSD on the other one. Now I will insert the USB stick with the firmware. Message show up. It adds a new device, SD2, because it is the name that it gave to the USB stick. Now let's mount the USB stick. Mount dev SD2i at MNT. Now firmware underscore update at path MNT. It found all the firmware and now we are able to connect to the Wi-Fi. Of course I won't show you because of privacy, but I already made a video about that is the same. It is called OpenBSD connected to the Wi-Fi in the OpenBSD playlist. Now I will perform a connection test. Let's ping 3 times the OpenBSD website. No data loss. Here it is how to set up the Wi-Fi. If config Wi-Fi card app, if config Wi-Fi card scan, if config Wi-Fi card and with inside the brackets first the name of your Wi-Fi access point, close brackets WPA key, open brackets the password, later DH client, name of the Wi-Fi card, and you will be able to connect to the Wi-Fi. Later add nano, it is a test editor that I like. Edit the hostname file, delete everything, join SSID, WPA key, password, DHCP, iNetSeeds autoconf, because we are giving it IPv6 addresses as well, and app powersave to enable power saving features. Later exit if config Wi-Fi card down, pkill DH client sh etc net start. I made this last command to turn off the configuration at the beginning because it has to connect thanks to the test file that I created using nano. Later I will reboot and the Wi-Fi will be working fine. Now let's make the last command and reboot. Now if we reboot the system, it should automatically connect to the Wi-Fi. Let's try if the Wi-Fi is working. Ping C3, a website. Now the Wi-Fi is working fine. My only mistake was at the end of the nano test editor app powersave. It is better to avoid it because this version of the driver doesn't support power saving features. All the other things leave the same, simply don't write up powersave and you will successfully connect to the Wi-Fi.